Let's now talk about the role of situational context in deciding about politeness. Politeness is very much determined by the context, and as we know that politeness is largely influenced by the various elements of context existing at the moment in which a certain utterance is being made. For example, we can see that the meaning or the politeness, uh, uh, the weight of politeness as far as request is concerned may be decided based on two important factors. For example, when we want to make a request to somebody else, the politeness of that request would be decided by or would be determined by the availability of two contextual factors. The first one is the degree of imposition. How much imposition is being made on the hearer to whom we are requesting something? The bigger the imposition would be, and the more indirect forms would be applied, and there would be a kind of negative politeness strategy employed in this situation. For example, we can say when we want somebody to do something for us and we request it, if the request is something which is compelling the other person to do something which is really bigger in social or economic terms, and that might ask a bigger demand on other person's time or economy or his or her pocket. In such a situation, probably we would be we would be we would be using certain indirect strategy, and we won't say that directly. Rather, we would choose some indirect way of saying it, and negative politeness strategies would be employed here. For example, to borrow a large amount of money, which is generally beyond the normal expectations, we would use such situations. We would employ an indirect strategy. For example, I couldn't borrow 50,000 rupees. Could I, if you don't need it right now? Could I get it right now from you? I mean, you would probably, in most other situations, probably you would use a pre-request also. Do you have some spare money, if I ask? And other person would reply, yes, I do have some. Can I borrow that much of money? So pre-request can be another addition in such situations. Pre-request is a sequence which is said before the actual request, and it makes it more polite and sometimes more indirect. On the other hand, to borrow a small amount of money, you don't need to be indirect, and you don't need to be off record. Rather, you will be bald on record, and that means you can say it directly. For example, you can say, "Give me 10 rupees." It could be straightforward, but had it been 1 lakh rupees or 50,000 rupees, probably you wouldn't have said it. Give me 50,000 rupees. That looks so impolite in these situations. The other factor is the formality of the context, and the simple formula is the greater the formality, the more indirect language is. It's the formality of the situation. If the situation is really formal, people would be more indirect and would use bald off record kind of statements in order to be polite and in order to convey the message. But if situation is informal, people can use direct messages to be conveyed, and because in such situations it may not be considered impolite. For example, a student sitting informally in the common room over a coffee might stop a colleague from interrupting her with a direct directive, which we call bald on record. An example can be, hang on, I haven't finished. Somebody is interrupting you, you are in an informal situation, and you say, hang on, I haven't finished. That means कि अभी मैंने अपनी बात ख़त्म नहीं की, मुझे ख़त्म करने दें बात को. But if you are being interrupted in a formal context, for example, of a seminar or classroom situation, probably this way would not be considered appropriate, and this would be considered impolite. In such situations, you would say statements like, I wonder if I might just finish what I am trying to say. You would be more indirect, and in this way you will try to be more polite. In general, we call such strategies as indirect directive redressing the face threatening acts, which could possibly be there if you had you been more direct in such situations. To Heritage, who's a popular scholar, a speaker's action is context shaped in that its contribution to ongoing sequence of actions, be it be verbal actions, it is decided by the context itself. You cannot decide about the lexical or the meaning contribution of a certain statement or certain utterance without knowing its context. So, in this way, the contextualization of utterances is a major and unavoidable procedure which Herer used to rely on to interpret conversational contributions. And without knowing the context, we won't be able to understand the contribution of various utterances made by various speakers in a certain communication. Similarly, Malinowski, who is a popular scholar in pragmatics, in early pragmatics, and he probably the one who introduced the element of situational context in language analysis. He is of the similar views. He says that the study of any form of speech would reveal the dependence of the meaning on the context, and in his words, on the practical experience of the people involved in that conversation, as well as the structure of each utterance would depend upon the momentary situation in which it is being spoken. In short, that Malinowski wants to inform us that the meaning of any conversation or of any utterance would be decided within a certain context, which is based on the experiences of the learners as well as the very situational context in which that is being spoken.